Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusha here, and now, before we do get started, let me go ahead and give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a number of events happening. Now, Deku, he was dealing with quite a bit of things. After he managed to stop a drug deal and some weapons shipping, the weapons trading, whatever. Whenever he managed to stop an illegal sale, he found a child locked in the trunk of a vehicle. He hypnotized her and made sure she didn't see the carnage he left behind. He then took her to the police station where he turned her in, made sure she was somewhere safe, and went to try and deal with the rest of the bad guys. Police tried to stop Deku. That didn't work, and he even met All for One. All for One was quite curious about talking to the young lad, trying to recruit him, but Deku doesn't see himself as a villain. He's trying to help people. He despises heroes, but that doesn't mean he's a villain. He doesn't like that people are labeling him as such. He's done good things. He even helped a lot more people tonight. But that's not how people see it. Now, footage was released showing Deku's face, and someone who knew him, they were alarmed. He has been identified as Izuku Midoriya, and he is the man committing the Dracula-like killings in Japan. Now, this has been confirmed, but what's more shocking is his identity. Two very interesting cases just became one very high-profile story. The death of two pro heroes and the murder of a lot of people track back to this young man. How is the most important question on everyone's mind. Deku? He was also trying to run an experiment. He was going to take some time off for himself, try and get his head back on straight, and see how long he can really go without blood. Fact is, he's trying to find some people on his personal crusade to try and make sure his friends are okay, try and track down anyone he can from his old life. It's gotten more difficult. However, one of them just found him. The Hero Committee, after verifying this woman's identity, along with some record payments she does have from her previous, employers, they brought in a woman by the name of Emmy Yoshimi, because she was the woman who used to take care of Izuku Midoriya. They allowed her to put a message out there for the young man to hopefully turn himself in. It was a long shot. The woman requested this. If there's anyone who can talk to him, it would be her. It was a random shot in the dark. But he bit. Deku showed up to a random police station and sat down, where people, they were highly alarmed to see him. Eventually, someone did approach him, and he was here to turn himself in. Just like that. It meant a bit. The Hero Committee, they were not expecting such a rapid response, and they did a scramble to try and get everything together, send someone out, and hopefully bring the kid in to talk. However, after an hour of waiting, Deku, he stood up and went to leave. Some people who were in charge of watching him along with random pros, they did go to bring their hands up, informing him that he does have to remain here. But Deku, whenever he kept approaching them, they went to go bring their hands up, ready to use force to keep him here. Some were a little intimidated. They've heard he managed to overpower Hawks, They were told to be careful about this person. But whenever they did try to attack Deku, he just simply walked right through their abilities. Walked right through them and out the front door. It was alarming. And whenever people did finally show up, he was sitting there outside underneath the shade of a tree. And he was just there, curled up on himself and staring at the street. Whenever someone finally pulled up in a car and he saw them, he did actually look up. And when people got out that Deku recognized as pros, he somewhat scowled before putting his head back down onto his knees. But then there is where someone, they do to step out. Right now, them going to brush off their clothes and go to look around. Right now, their eyes falling on Deku, who does go to sit there. And he does go to perk up. Him jumping up to his feet and thinking about what to do. Right now, he does still go to wear this long black trench coat. It does seem to fit him. It's made of leather, and it is somewhat reminiscent of his father's hero suit. Though, it does help with everything. Should he change? Maybe. It seems appropriate. Right. Manners. She taught him manners. His outfit going to change. And Deku, he does currently wear a black suit with a white tie and a pair of white gloves. And she does get to see that. Right now, her watching, surprised. And Deku, he does start to approach the group. Many of them, they do to step forwards, as there is where someone does inform them. Stand down. And everyone, they do feel tense. Deku does step forwards and they're going to stop after a few steps. And Miss Emmy, she does go to approach. Right now, Deku, he does go to express Miss Yoshimi with a small bow. And she does go to somewhat smile. He does fidget a bit, but he does remember some of the manners she did taught him. There are a few things missing, but the look in his eyes have changed. Literally. It's good to see you, Izuku. Her stepping forward. And Deku, he does go to freeze when she does to pull him into a hug. Him alarmed. And he does go to wrap his arms around her in a hug himself. Trying to be careful about his strength. Right now, he does hold on tight. And he does go to close his eyes for a second as tears do to roll down his cheeks. And some people do to comment on it. As whenever she does to pull away, she does a turn looking at Deku's face. Him turning to look at her as she does go to stare surprised. Streaks of blood came out of his eyes. And Deku does bring his hands up, wiping them away with his gloves. And seeing blood. Going to somewhat frown. It's... No. Are you okay? I mean... I don't know how to answer that. Some things are new. If you wouldn't mind someone intervening. And Deku does turn, shooting them a glare. We would like to conduct this meeting in private. This is a little too out in the open. If you would, Please step inside. Right now, Emmy bring a hand up and onto Deku's shoulder. Him turning back his expression does to soften. Are you comfortable with that? I like being outside. Him averting his gaze from her eyes. It's better. More open. The air is fresh. And it isn't cramped. Cramped? I don't like tight spaces. The room inside, it's big, but it's too similar to the basement. The basement? Yes. I knew I should have just taken you away from there. Your parents did this to you, didn't they? Not this. Well, I mean, I don't know. Calm down. Just take a breath, and we'll go inside. If it's uncomfortable, maybe we can go to a bigger room? Is that alright? Her turning to look at somebody. And they do go to nod after looking at a few other people. Then Deku does a step back into the police precinct. Right now, him being taken to an interrogation room. However, he does is sit down in a chair. Someone they do to step forward with cuffs. Right now being told not to do that. It's protocol. The boy is intangible. Those won't work on him. Along with that, we have a estimate about a few things we've heard about him. I see. Well, we'll be in the other room. Deku going to turn and looking at the glass. Before his eyes, they do go to look at everyone on the other side. There's that guy, that lady, that lady. Why is Hawks here? Someone going to stiffen. And there is where they do to ask, how does he... I can see him. Along with that, a few pros. I don't know who some of them are, but I don't like pros. They're here for our security. We're unsure about you and the threat you do pose. I'm not a threat. I help people. Izuku, I help people. I'm not a bad person. That has yet to be determined, young man. The fact of the matter is, you've killed people. Bad people. They've hurt people. What was I supposed to do? Not intervene? I mean, a lot has happened. If I didn't help those people, then who knows what would have happened to them? I do. And I'll tell you right now, it's not good. I saved their lives. And, well, some of their minds. They would have been put through things that, well, they're not good. How do you know that? I have powers. That's obvious. But, well, Izuku, take it slow. Okay. Ask your questions. Am I doing that right? I mean, there's a lot you guys want to go over? There is. Can you confirm your identity for us? My name is Izuku Midoriya. I'm the son of Hasashi and Inko Midoriya. You say that with some malice. Why is that? A lot of reasons. Growing up, I had no quirk. No quirk? Yes. Miss Emmy can verify that. That's true. The day his parents found out he didn't have a quirk, he, well, wasn't abandoned, but you could tell they made an effort to work harder at their jobs. I did become his primary caretaker for a bit of time. Yeah, that. After my mom and dad fired Miss Emmy, they weren't kind people. They abused you. Yes. And how so? In what regard? They locked me away and threw away the key. Excuse me? Yes. How do we know about that? I was in the basement for years. That's what happened. Two esteemed pro heroes. Why would they do that? Because they cared about their legacy. Izuku, they wanted me to have one of their powers. Fact of the matter is, I didn't, and they hated me for it. My father tried to kill me 3 times. I had to stare into his eyes when he tried to kill me. He tried to choke me to death. And I killed him. Izuku, how did you do it? Excuse me? No, that is out of line. You're going too far with that. We're trying to put together a cohesive timeline. And you're trying to do that to a traumatized child. I knew Hasashi and Midoriya. They were not good people when I worked for them, but if they got worse, then, well, I'm sorry, Izuku. Miss Yoshimi, I don't believe you should be here for this. Deku turning to the person. And they do get thrown up against the wall by Deku's telekinesis. Right now, them going to float there in the air as Deku does go to tell them. Shut the fuck up. Right now, he wanted to meet with her, not them. He wanted to talk with her, not them. They can leave, or they can stop interrupting him. And Emmy does bring her hands up. Right now, her going to grab Deku by his shoulders and tell him to stop. And he does go to turn as if seeing her for the first time. The man falling to his knees as he does a cough for breath. And she does try to inform him, slowly letting go of his shoulders and backing away. Right now, no one is trying to harm him. They're trying to ask questions and they're pushing it. Fact is, can they have the room? Miss Yoshimi, can we have the room? I don't care about your guys' protocol, but I know this young man. Right now, you are stressing him out. And as you've seen, he is not in a good mental state. Please leave the room. I'm asking that. A voice coming from the intercom. Do as she does say. The young man's already shown off that he can leave at any moment. They need his cooperation. And Deku does a turn, looking that person directly in the eyes and going to nod at them. And they still feel very uncomfortable by that. He can fucking see through walls. That's just dandy. Though someone, they are writing things down and putting question marks on those sheets, trying to figure out exactly what the hell is the limit to his abilities. Right now, everyone, they do go to leave the interrogation room, leaving Deku and Emmy alone. Are you okay? I'm fine. Deku putting his feet on the chair, curling up into a bit of a ball, and talking about it. They stress him out. And they're stressing me out too. Are you okay? How have you been? I've thought about you a lot. I was curious to know if you were okay. If my parents hurt you. I mean, if you were around. I've been around, Izuku. I've found more employment. But you've certainly been through it. I tried to report your parents once, but people didn't take the call seriously. I figured it was a lose-lose situation. Trying again was not an option. The perks of being a pro. Unfortunately, yes. What happened to your parents? You said you killed your father. But what about your mother? She's gone too. Jesus. He has nothing to do with this. Izuku, I don't know what they're gonna try and do with you. This looks really bad. How did you... How are you capable of this? I only hurt bad people. That doesn't make it better. Life is precious, Izuku. What? But they're bad. They're hurting other people. They're monsters. Just like my father. Your father was still a man. No matter how horrible he might have been. How could he do something like that? Cruelty for no reason. I didn't do anything wrong. I was a good person. I am a good person. They weren't. I've seen their memories. They hated me. They were getting a surrogate. What? They're trying to have another kid. I mean, replace me. Sweep me under the rug, act like I don't exist. They didn't know what they were going to do with me. Maybe bury me in the yard or get the help to dispose of me. I don't know. Everyone inside that house was horrible. Complacent. How and why? Why me? I don't have a good answer to that. Her standing up and walking around the table, before grabbing Deku and pulling him into a hug. And Deku, he does just sit there for a second, trying to rationalize everything, break it down, but he can't. He just goes to hold on to her. And time does start to pass that way for a minute. Deku doesn't let go. And Miss Yoshimi, She does try to comfort him, but he doesn't cry. He tries not to. Tears aren't supposed to be made out of blood. More proof that he's not human. What should he do? Miss Yoshimi is going to age. This is just going to be some sort of thing in the past. He can't die. Other people can. I mean, what should he do? Turn her into a vampire? That's an idea. Will it work? Maybe. But maybe you should ask her? Find out more about that. He still needs to test that out. He's looked into what he is. Nothing makes sense. There's nothing clear. He just needs to calm down. Figure out what to do next. How to get out of here. I mean, they wanted him brought in. They're just going to try and lock him away, aren't they? No. He doesn't want to be locked away. Izuku. Sorry. Be careful. You're strong. Her pulling away. And going to pat him on the head. Talking about it. She'd always hoped that he would grow up to be big and strong. Ruffling his hair. But she never wanted him to turn out like this. I'm a monster. No, you're not a monster. You are not a monster, Izuku. You don't have to do the things that you've done. Right now, we can get you help. It'll be okay. I'll be right there with you. Her holding out her hand. And Deku, he does go look down at it. There it is. Another hand. What should he do? Should he take it? Should he run? But where would he run to? He doesn't know. It feels like this is going to keep happening over and over again. And it's going to drive him crazy. Like a serpent eating its own tail. That's bad. I don't want to be locked up. Not in another room. Not like that. Not again. No. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back in a room like that. Is there something we can do? Her turning. And Deku does watch her on his behalf ask about some sort of compromise. Izuku Midoriya, from what people have looked at, is a traumatized young man. Someone who, from what he has claimed, was locked in a basement for years. And he only escaped because he murdered the people abusing him. One of them just so happened to be in the top 10 for pro heroes. The other was another notorious pro hero. He does not trust heroes, but he does trust the system, in some form or shape. The Hero Committee need to figure out what to do with him. This young man has had his perception warped around heroic ideology. Along with that, he's highly unstable and has a number of abilities they can't even begin to try and figure out. Hawks claimed you can't kill him, and he regenerates very fast. So they've got to try and figure that out. Along with the fact that his body's malleable. I mean, it's not looking good. Okay, we can look into some sort of compromise. But until then, perhaps we can hold him in some sort of temporary housing. That may work. Are you certain of that? Do you have any better ideas? Locking him in a room is not good. We can't lock him in a cell. Besides, look at him. Deku's eyes staring at the wall. And a man does go to express, not looking at Deku. Right now, they've got to figure out how to contain this. Figure out how to restrain him. If he does decide to go on another killing spree like that, who knows the type of damage he will do. Besides, this kid, he sounds like a beast. And, well, he doesn't want to say it, but then don't. Them looking at Deku. Him expressing. Don't say what he's going to say. Emmy looking at Deku. And he does it a stand up, walking towards the wall and staring at the man, tapping it and pointing at him. The glass cracking on the first tap, cracking again and again. It's spiderwebbing. As the man does get a back away and everyone, they do get a stare at Deku. Expressing. He thinks his parents should have just killed him, is that it? He thinks they should have put him down like a dog. His mother and father, they were dog food. But what does that make him? What is he? Deku's face phasing through the wall. And where his head does it to come through the mirror, the man does go to back completely against the wall and somewhat scream out. As Deku does go to look at the pros on the other side, looking at the man. Right now, keep his thoughts to himself. They are not very polite. Him pulling out from the mirror and going to just glare at the man. And the man does take off running. As there is where someone does express they have to make some phone calls. Izuku? Deku turning back to Miss Yoshimi. And she does look rather hesitant, getting his attention. And Deku does sit back down and try to talk with her. She does look better after a second. But it does still mean something. She tries to ask him some questions. Ask him anything. Does he still remember the time they did this? Does he still remember the time she did that with him? When they did this together? When they did that? And Deku, he does start to somewhat smile after a bit of time. All these fond memories, you'd think that this one was his own mother. It's lovely. It's nice. And that it does make Deku happy, but terrified. He cares for this person. Are they going to hurt him? Are they going to betray him? No. Emmy wouldn't do that. She's a good person. A kind person. Why would someone like that betray him? Why would they hurt him? Why would they do anything of the sort? She spoke up for him. That's the most anyone has ever done for him. She's the best person he knows. He'll take that hand. He'll try. And Deku, he does get word back after almost half an hour. The person stepping in and talking about it. Well, they did just have some things confirmed, and it does appear that they can move him somewhere temporary. It does have a little bit of restrictions, but it should be fine. Right now, they've contacted Miss Yoshimi's employer, and they are willing to give her a stipend along with cash in order to be a part of this endeavor. The young man is going to need to undergo medical procedures and therapy, however. Those are not negotiable. Along with that, they do need to try and help him. If Miss Yoshimi is willing, she can become his primary caretaker and possibly help rehabilitate Mr. Midoriya. And she does get a nod. Right now, Deku does go to watch her. She does look hesitant, but she does turn to Deku, right now expressing to him she's not going to fail him again. And Deku, he's taken aback by that. So earnest. Right now, him giving a weak smile. And he does get to ask about what they're going to be doing. And the person does express it'll take a little bit of time, but they'll get it set up. Right now, they're just waiting on an address. They can probably do lunch. Or, well, until then, continue conversing. Right now, they have to deal with the media and information about him being here. And that's something Deku, he does understand. Right now, he does even talk about it. He can teleport away if they need him to. Someone genuinely turning and raising an eyebrow at Deku. Before they do get a sigh. Sure he can. Can you do anything else? We would need a full list of your abilities. Maybe? I don't know. I'm still figuring some stuff out. Them nodding. And they do to leave. Deku using his third eye to try and figure out what's on their mind. And they do talk about it in their mind. This fucking kid. That being their thoughts. And Deku does turn back to Emmy. As she does try to calm Deku down and keep him in a state of calm. And it does work. Eventually, people, they do go to escort Deku out. And he does step into a vehicle and be brought to a new location. Right now, him going to make his way into an apartment that does have a big old fancy bed. And when he does go to stare at it, he does go to climb underneath. Emmy, seeing that, and staring at Deku. Her bending down to one knee and looking under, watching how Deku does curl up on his side, asking if he's alright. Tired. You can sleep on the bed. That's better. Her going to pull the blanket off and shove it underneath, informing him going to grab one of the pillows to at least be comfy. And he does get a nod, taking the pillow and blanket, reluctantly snuggling up as he does get to fall asleep. And Emmy does have a lot she has to deal with. She has to figure out the best way to deal with this, how to handle all of this. It's gonna be a big problem, but she can do this. She can help this young man. It's not gonna happen again. She won't allow it. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.